Well, hello, this is my reflection assignment video. So, for number one, question is, what factors influence your decision about completing the two sections of appreciating yourself? So the first factor on completing appreciating yourself was my experience prior to starting my first practicum. And the reason for that being is because during my first practicum, prior to doing my first practicum, I assumed that creating bonds with the kids and with other team members and the facilities that I'd be going to would be a learning curve for me, and also that being able to create genuine relationships was going to be harder than I expected it to be. Secondly, the resources that I'm currently using for practicum. That reason being that the resources that I'm currently using is my field supervisor and other peers and mentors and other staff during my practicum. And why that influenced me is because I learned a lot about having to change myself and also to be adaptive to the children and youth that I'm trying to come in contact with, and also trying to build a bond that way. And the second question is, assess use of self in relation to children, youth, and families, supervisors, and peers. As a specific example. So, my use of self in relation to children and families is trying to be a professional, especially in the eyes of children and youth. And one example is one time I was able to, during Christmas time, I met one of the children and youth's parents, particularly a mother, and she was able to see that I created a bond with her son, and she allowed herself to see how I work with him, and she saw that I was very capable of what I was doing, and so she allowed me to take care of him for the remainder of the day, because she was about to leave to go to work anyway. But that just gave me a lot of confidence knowing that I had mom's support there, and how she saw I was professional. And also to the children and youth, I want to be seen as an adult they can trust. And the reason, and the example is when I first started the practicum, I wasn't really able to sit near the children and youth in my classroom because I was very nervous. I didn't know. I had no prior experience with children with special needs at the time, but as time grew, they started to trust me more. I was able to sit with them and be able to talk to them, and I feel like I gained their trust eventually just being constantly around them. For my supervisor, I just wanted to be seen as a student who was exploring his first practicum and being able to link what I learned in class to what we're doing at the practicum. An example of that would be for the clinical practice assignment. When I asked help from my supervisor, she told me I would have textbooks that I could use to find the information, and she trusted that I would be able to like the theory that I learned to practice, and I feel like that was a good thing because after doing the clinical class assignment, I do feel like I was able to understand the assignment and be able to do the work like that. And lastly, towards my peers, I want to be seen as a dependable, trusting, and reachable peer. And a friend, an example of this would be just in everyday classroom interactions, especially in the morning class. I try to be able to be in any group or try to work with any other of my classmates and try not to have any cliques around them. And when I do work as a team member, being able to share my load and talk and do all that really, really good stuff. For question 3, as you reflect on your first year of practicum, please respond to the following. The biggest difference between what I expected from practicum and what I've experienced is. So the biggest difference between what I expected from my practicum, what I expected from a practicum was what I expected from a practicum. When I came in to the look out of the school board, I didn't expect to be able to have the relationships that I would want, per se, because I know in a school board it's really a really touchy subject on being able to take kids out of their classroom and having a big curriculum based expectations most of the time and not really relationship based. But after being in the classroom that I was in, I realized that what I experienced was that even through everyday schoolwork, which we learn in class, like you're in their life space so that they create relationships. And through time, I saw opportunities where, for example, a child is doing math homework, I can come up to them and ask them, "Oh, are you having trouble with this?" And then from that point on, I could dig deep and ask him, "Oh, do you like math? And do you want to pursue this any further?" Or so on and so forth. So the experience of being able to adapt to a situation in the school and being able to create a genuine relationship that way. And the next question is the experience that mostly close to match my expectations experience. The most closely matches, I'd say to have such strong relationships that we currently do. One experience that closely matches my expectations was how I'm sorry. I have written them. And the experience that most closely matches my expectations. The experience that closely matches my expectations were that I knew that I would be uncomfortable, especially during the first month and a half, I was pretty uncomfortable being in the classroom because um, I just wasn't used to all of those needs in the classroom, and also I didn't have a lot of knowledge and experience with children with moderate needs, and so my expectations going into that were going to be that I was going to be uncomfortable and that I needed to adapt, and it showed with my body language, and it showed with how I was acting defensive towards the kids. But then I started to realize that they're just children, and going back to the classes that I've been to, just trying to create a relationship with them really did help. And the experience is that I did get over it. There were still some moments in the time I was there where I did feel like the expectations still come back, but having a relationship with them, I understand that it's because they're unable to say what they mean, that they have to have different outlets to be able to tell me what they're feeling. So they might, hit the table, or they might um, scream really loud because they're not able to say, "Oh, I'm really frustrated, I'm really angry," and that takes time to accept. But I think I'm able to really understand that now. And for number 4, one SMART goal you'll continue to work on, and then one self-care strength. So my self-care strength that I will be bringing over to my next practicum would be taking the time and the rest that I need, because during this whole practicum experience, I found myself being very drained, especially mentally, um, especially near like the ending of the day, because I'm running around all the time, and writing notes, and I'm really focusing on the kids that I'm with. And before, I only took maybe we did about 15-minute breaks and 40-minute break for lunch. I would usually only take about maybe 9 minutes during breaks before, and then maybe a 35-minute lunch. But now I take like all the time that I need now, especially like this last month, because because every time I go home, I'm not really unable to do anything because I'm really tired all the time, and I have to sleep early. And I think that's attributed to the fact that I'm not taking care of my well-being the way that I should. So I will try and bring taking rest and time to myself to my next practicum. And the SMART goal that I want to bring over is starting to use a physical agenda utilizing calendar to develop better strategies for self-management, and also just to be more organized, because this year I have not been very organized with everything that I was doing. And I think it's a realistic goal, because since the summer is about to start, I'm able to go to work more, and even there I still have very dense and crazy schedules there, so I'll be able to use the calendars to make sure that no days overlap, and use the agenda so that I'm able to figure out what days I've been working and which days I haven't, and if I need some added days rest. And I feel like I can achieve starting to use a calendar and agenda by the end of August, or like the beginning or end of August. And I think that's pretty reasonable, considering that I'll have a lot of time at work, and also maybe summer school as well, maybe trying to bring that up there. And And yeah, that's it. Well, thank you so much. And I'm sorry again, Luke, for all this. Bye.